The weather is sponsored by Qatar Airways.
Hello, welcome along to our 60-second World Weather Roundup. It starts in Australasia. A fine looking day on Saturday across New Zealand. Lots of sunshine to come, turning cooler across the southeast of Australia as the frontal system moves through. A tropical storm drifting northwards towards Japan and Korea. Heavy rain with that. It's dry with hazy sunshine in Indonesia. India, this lump of moisture moving off the west coast. Things drying up a little bit in Mumbai. Showers and thunderstorms where we'd expect them, particularly western back to rather cool and damp in the south. Thunderstorms for Iberia spreading into the south of France, dry and warm for the north of France and the UK.
Hello, everybody. We will just listen to the latest news and then we'll start the class.
In Brasilia, more heavy downpours affecting the central plains of the US, also central areas of Canada. That's all from me. Bye.
The weather sponsored by Qatar Airways.
I do not think anybody is taking it out. Let us all find a voice. We don't need a voice.
I do have a voice about communities, and how do I use that in a positive way?
Number one priority is to restore the Greek economy to an aggressive growth. Many problems is our own creation.
This is an emergency. This is an existential crisis, and we must do everything we can to stop it.
I don't want to just, have my face in the paper or have my name at the paper. I want to do more than that.
When big names talk, they talk to the BBC.
Across the globe, people have come to rely on an array of products, from bicycles to whiskey, spices to semiconductors. This series looks at the people, systems and networks that go into making and bringing them to market.
We're spreading the knowledge and the technology across the globe.
Made on Earth, coming soon on BBC World News.
Hello, this is BBC World News. Me, Karen Gino. Our top story. Protesters all over the world take to the streets to march for action against climate change.
Well, the younger a person is, the more that the changing climate will impact them as they grow, and the less of a voice they're given today.
Angela Merkel announces a $110 billion package of measures to limit Germany's carbon emissions. Our other main headlines: journalists have been shown around one of the Saudi oil refineries severely damaged by missiles and drones last weekend. And huge excitement in Japan as the home side win their opening game in the Rugby World Cup.
Good evening, everybody. So please turn your microphones on and say hello. Yes, please say hello.
Hello.
What's your name?
Susanna.
Hello, Susanna. You've been with us the previous time, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that's very good to see you back again. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks.
Okay, and what is new?
Oh, nothing interesting, I think.
Okay, what did you do yesterday?
I went to university.
And what kind of subjects did you have?
I had psychology, the subject connected with safety and subject connected with practice English.
Okay. Very good. Very interesting. So anybody else? Just say hello.
Давно? Наверное, на прошлый не очень, да?
Он не очень. Вот смотри.
Please say hello.
Ну да, конечно.
Если хочешь, я могу вам хоть сегодня свидание устроить.
Давай, давай, супер. Здорово, Николай. Может, мне тоже подружка берете, а то мне налично платить.
Слушай, выдержи, по-моему. Вам пока налично платить делать нечего. Вот сделают операцию, там посмотрим.
Well, that's very interesting that you came to the English conversational class.
Да, что-то вроде того. Не разменяете?
You do not talk.
Могу только, конечно, на 12 рублей. Конечно, спасибо. Откуда?
Okay. So please, anybody, say something. Say hello. Yeah, I understand that somebody raised their hand, but this is not the lesson about raising your hand. It's a conversational English practice. So we just talk here. Please say something. Say hello.
Okay, but I finally came to terms of how to turn on my microphone. It's
very good, Matthew. Good, good to have you here back again. And how are you doing?
I'm doing quite okay. I hope you do so too.
And what is new?
I came to the 11th grade, or whatever you call it, and I'm already preparing for the exams, and it's quite thrilling and exciting and tiring at the same time.
I understand. Have you listened to the BBC World Service?
Unfortunately not.
Okay. And why is that?
I just didn't remember because I just joined after a long break, and I honestly thought that the approximate topic of today's conversation was published in Vkontakte's social network. It's like about thinking in the target language or something.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, what I'm asking, in the very beginning of the class, usually I have the top stories from the latest BBC news, and I just ask you, did you listen to the presentation of the...
I joined later, unfortunately.
All right. Yeah.
I was a bit late.
Okay. Anybody else? Just say hello to us. Okay. Yeah. If somebody wants to join us, that's up to you. Anytime. You are very welcome. So this is the conversational English class, and we will just keep on working with the book, which we did previously. So let me just start the sharing the screen with you. Okay. So I just want to remind you what we did the previous class. So you see, somebody is trying to talk Russian. This is not for the Russian class. It's an English class. So we started talking the previous time, and there was the task which examiner did. I will just remind you myself what was that. Okay, so let me just find it. You can have a look at the screen, and maybe you will see it for yourself. What kind of a topic is that?
It's a topic about habits, actually non-unhealthy habits, really.
Okay.
Yeah. how can we stop young people from smoking? Yeah, and there are different options on this.
Okay, so you know that this is about the speaking part in the exam, which is called the first certificate in English. And the topic is, as you can see, how can we stop young people from smoking? Okay, and they are kind of several prompts for you what to talk about. And you know, the previous classes when you were not present, I mean, Matthew, some people presented their own ideas. They just gave us their own answers to what they think, and it was pretty interesting. Their ideas, their views. So what I want you to do now is we will move on, and you will listen to the second exercise, which is 1.14, if you can see it. You will listen to two candidates, the real candidates to the exam, and they will do the first phase of the test. So the question to you is, do the candidates talk about all the suggestions in the prompts? And these suggestions, you can see it on the screen. Do they give examples? And how does the examiner end the discussion? Okay, if you're ready, then we can start talking about that. Please.
I'm ready.
Unit 3, page 41. Speaking. Exercise 2.
I think these are really good ideas. So let's take them one at a time, shall we?
Okay. Well, for a start, I think they should raise the price of cigarettes. That way, young people would probably smoke less.
We don't want them to smoke less. We want them not to smoke at all. If it was up to me, I'd raise the smoking age to 20.
20? I'm not sure about that. You might stop young people from buying cigarettes, but if you did that, they would just get their older friends or even their parents to buy cigarettes for them. They do that now, don't they?
That's true. What about banning advertising? Do you think that would make a difference?
Yes, it might. Seeing pictures of good-looking people smoking and looking happy must make smoking very attractive to some young people.
Yeah. So if we stop them from seeing those images, it might help.
The other thing I think they should do is have an advertising campaign to show people how smoking can damage their health.
They've tried that before, haven't they? And they found it didn't make much difference. It's like the health warnings on cigarette packets, which say things like smoking kills. They don't seem to stop people smoking.
You're right. I think they tried it with teenagers, and teenagers do all kinds of things that damage their health, and they don't seem to care. What they should do is have a campaign in every primary school.
You're probably right. It's definitely worth a try, and we've got to try everything. Do you think providing people with alternatives would be a good idea, such as patches that you stick on your arm or special chewing gum?
Anything's worth a try. Have you heard about electronic cigarettes?
Yes. That's a really weird idea, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but I know someone who tried them, and it's worked quite well so far.
Thank you.
So that's two candidates. They tried their attempt, their effort, and now the first question is, do the candidates talk about all the suggestions which you have? Susanna, can you join us?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Did they talk about all the suggestions in the prompts?
Yeah, they did talk about all the suggestions I noticed, and they do give examples, some examples at least. They discuss probable outcomes of every measure and even disagree with each other on some points. And the examiner just ends the discussion with a simple thank you. It's not very promising, you know.
Well, it's not very promising. see, this is the exam for the candidates, but not for the examiner. So that is why, in my understanding, the less the teacher talks in the conversational class or conversational exam, the better. So that's how I understand. And usually I encourage, yeah, I encourage you talking. So, Susanna, did they talk about raising the price of the cigarettes?
Yes, at the beginning of their conversation.
Okay, so what did they say about that?
The man said that it is maybe it is better to increase the increase. I forgot.
But that's here in the screen, the first prompt. Yeah, just have a look at the screen. It will help you. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
And so this is the question: how can you stop young people from smoking? And these are all of the prompts which we are talking about. So increase what?
Prices.
Yeah, increase prices for, and so that was Sophie actually who said about that. And what did Christian answer? Yeah, you're correct. That was Christian who said, let's raise the price of cigarette. And what did Sophie answer?
I didn't hear.
Matthew, do you remember that?
I don't remember exactly, but she proposed to raise the legal age instead, because Price's suggestion did not seem to really work in perspective in the past.
Yeah, and what age did she suggest raising the mission to buy?
The age of 20, if my family doesn't fail me.
Age of 20. But what was Christian's response to that?
He said that it was absolutely pointless because the existing practice of getting older friends or even parents to buy cigarettes will just continue existing.
All right. So the next point was about the advertising campaigns. So, what do you think? What did they say? And Susan, you can join us anytime. And, Angela. Hello, Angela. Okay, Susanna, you want to say something?
No.
That's all right. Anybody else, you can join us anytime you want. Please do say hello to us, and, raise your hand or whatever, and just join us. All right, Matthew, can you think of some good answer?
Well, they started from the proposal of banning the advertising campaigns on cigarettes, and they came to the point that reducing advertising or even ban on it may actually help to resolve the problem. They just agreed on this. Okay. Nobody debated.
And when you think of a cigarette packets, so what does it say usually?
It's in our country, it does say exactly what the recording said. Smoking does kill. Smoking kills.
Yes, right. And
but it doesn't really matter because people got accustomed to these inscriptions.
Okay.
over years.
Yeah, I understand, but what was the way out which the kids proposed?
The way out, as it was seen, but by the candidates, is to promote health campaigns in primary school. To prevent.
Why do you think is that?
Because it's kind of early threat prevention, maybe.
Okay, Susanna, what do you think if we start the advertising campaign in the primary, like talking about the damage, the bad things which smoking produces to the health of the young people? Why do you think that this is a good idea to talk to the primary school students?
Maybe because children they they understand this an unconscious level, they understand the disadvantages of this when they are little, and when they grew up, maybe they want will not want to try it.
Okay, Matthew, your ideas?
Maybe it's about to give the students the idea that smoking is not essentially cool, and it is it's no point to ruin your health to just look cool to others. They can be more responsive to this message than maybe older students.
Yeah, but you see, when you wanted to say something. Anybody else, if you want to join us, just join us anytime. Just like we say, jump in anytime and say what you want to say, and we will be happy. So what I heard is that they said that when people are in the age of teenagers, that advertising, I mean the warning that smoking kills, makes no difference for them. They just don't care. They
just don't care, and I think that when maybe they're younger, it may make some difference, because they're not yet all revolting against parents' cultural against parents' culture and so on. They're not trying to show their independence yet in primary school, I mean.
Listen to the examiner instructions.
Somebody else wants to. Well, I think that Susan disappeared. I don't know, but maybe somebody wants to join us. Just say hello and join us anytime, please. Okay. Yeah, that's a very interesting. That's a very interesting topic, and yeah, you know that people just like to. We talk about the primary school, and you know, this is not the primary school. This is kind of a pretty dull. No, I mean somebody which produces this kind of a noise. It's kind of interesting that this is not the elementary, the primary school. By the way, elementary is for the United States and the primary is for Great Britain. That's how they call it. So what I wanted to say is that this is a very interesting topic to discuss, because I'm very sorry to say about that, but right now, of course, for many years now, I'm not been smoking anymore, but I used to. I used to smoke for many years, and I'm sorry to say that, but I started smoking at the age of 6. So it's even younger, yeah, even younger than the elementary or like you say primary school. So, and of course, I'm very sorry about that now, but at that age, at the age of 6, I don't think that I understood that I was doing something really bad and exactly same to my health. See, yeah, please.
I hope this is just the exception, because I think it's not how it works in general. I just hope that it's not how it works in general. I hope you are an exception.
Well, I wish I were an exception. I wish, but see, right now, looking at the very young kids, like at the age of 5, and I have a grandson of my wife. He is 5 years old, and so when he saw somebody smoking outside in the street, or even that one of his granddads from his mother's side smokes, just really permanently, really regularly. I mean that every half an hour. When he is visiting with them in their house, he will just leave the house and smoke outside. And this young boy, I mean the grandson, he will also ask everybody, what is he doing? What would you answer?
Negative family influence, yeah.
Yeah, but you say that I'm an exception, but I don't smoke, and I'm very happy that I do not. But see, I actually it's really hard for me to think of. It didn't happen during my presence. It happened with the presence of my wife. But I'm just honestly, I'm asking you, what would you say when 5-year-old will see some of your relatives that are like really adult people, like at the age of 60? Your granddad will be just smoking, and the 5-year-old will ask you, Matthew, what is he doing? What would you say? What would you say? What would you explain to him?
I really don't know how to answer this kind of questions. It's really embarrassing at that point. I just imagine the situation and I will like mortified.
Yeah, right. Same about myself. It's and that is why I like these books. I mean the books from Oxford. This is, you can see that this is first masterclass from Oxford. Because it gives you a chance to really think of something which is very necessary to think of. And again, you know that in our culture, it's kind of a taboo talking about smoking with very young kids, and probably it's a good idea. But again, going back to my example, like you say, my example is an exception. And I wouldn't say that this is an exception. Why? Because you know that when you are 5-6 years old, you tend to make friends with some people who are older than you, like 10 years or even 14 years, and you like it. You think that it makes you feel, older. And so that is how I started doing that bad habit, because that was one of the older friends who taught me doing that.
Yeah, it's called peer pressure.
Peer pressure, yeah, we talked about that one day. Yeah, I agree. And then, you know, it was in a very different city. I was on the vacation with my parents, and after we left this city and moved to our native city or town, I forgot about smoking and forgot about, let's say, maybe some till the age of 14, and then at the age of 14 again, like you said, that here it was peer pressure, definitely, because everybody smoked. I mean, the boys in my, you know, that in American language you do not have the notion, the concept of class. Class is like class. You are, for example, Matthew, you are in American English, you are class 2020. If you understand what I'm saying, you are class 2020. That means that you will graduate in 2020, correct?
Yeah.
So what I mean here is that when I was the group of students we studied together, all of them, they were smoking. And so that is how I started smoking over again. Yeah, but again, when I gave up smoking, I think that was kind of a miracle. And I'm, you know, it's really hard to talk about that. Like you said, petrified, mortified about that. Yeah, I understand you. But anyway. All right. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Do you want to join us? Just say hello anytime, and you know that we probably have some 8 minutes to go, and after that the class will be over, and you are encouraged very much to join us every Friday. We have these conversations, conversational practice in English, and I encourage you, please come and we will talk. All right.
Hello,
so,
everybody.
Yeah.
Hello,
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
I want to say something.
Yes, please. So what's your name?
My name is Roman. Sorry for my voice. I'm ill a little bit.
Okay.
I want to discuss this topic. I'm trying to smoke first time at 6 year age. How you?
Yeah.
And my friends forced me, and so I tried.
Yeah, I understand. I understand perfectly well. And you know, more to that, usually when you start smoking at the age of 14, usually the first cigarette you start vomiting. Most of the time at the age of 14, but at the age of 6, I don't remember anything about dizziness, you know, that my head was dizzy or I start vomiting. No, I think that the body just got used to nicotine almost immediately. So that's the most dangerous part of it. And somebody should have explained it to me. And of course, my dad later somehow he figured out about that, and I got some real hard punishment. You can understand that for that when I was 6, but anyway, I remember that my dad figured it out. But anyway, I think that it would have been a good idea had somebody told me about not even only the danger, but about the reaction of your body when you first start smoking. It's definitely you always start throwing out, like vomiting and dizziness to your head, and the only thing which you want to do is just lay down somewhere on the couch or on the bed and just forget about anything, because your head it doesn't belong to you, I would say. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah.
Just jump in if you want to add. All right, so the next part of the conversation is about the alternative medicine. And if you know that alternative medicine is some kind of a patches, you know that, that the patch is some kind of a sticking plaster which you put on your arm in specific places, or it's a special chewing gum. So what do you think of medical alternative? Okay, and Angela, if you want to join us, just join us, please.
Okay, hello everyone. I think medicine like plasters and... Do you hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you fine.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Angela, and I think medicine can help to finish smoking, because my dad used this medicine. I can't remember the name of this medicine. Tabex. And he started to use this medicine, and he stopped smoking, and I'm very proud of him, and I'm very happy that he finished that habit.
Yeah, that's excellent. Amazing experience, and thank you for sharing. I will just make a very short advertisement break. I just want you to see my webpage where you can leave your testimonials. If you can see it, just hold on, I will show it to you. So this is my webpage, which is called Emphasize the English. You can see it here, Emphasize the English, or Углублённый английский. And if you want to join this group of students, you are very welcome. And also you have the testimonials, it's here, or reviews about my lessons. So if you want to add some more reviews, please do anytime. You are very, very, very welcome. So that was kind of a very short, very short advertisement for you to leave your testimonials or leave your reviews about my classes. Okay, let's go back, because we have only a couple of minutes left before the end of the class, and the end of the class will be absolutely automatically stopped because of the owners, the hosts of the website. Okay, let me just show you back the screen. So anybody else talking about medical alternatives, like Angela reminded us of TEDx, which is a very powerful medicine, which can make you give up smoking. And I'm very happy that she reminded us of this powerful medicine. Anybody else? Can you say something about medical alternatives to smoking? As I said, the medical alternatives might be a patch, which is kind of a sticker on your arm, or it might be a special chewing gum against smoking, against your habit. So if you do not think anything now, how about, yes, please, Ksenia, you want to? Yes.
Yes. Hello, my name is Ksenia. Yes, I want to say something about it. But I think that it doesn't work. It doesn't really work, because my father used it, and it didn't influence on him in any way.
Okay, I'm sorry, very sorry about that. Yeah, I understand. I understand because the same thing happened to my dad. He also used to smoke when he was alive. But anyway, thank you for sharing.